ass glass.
Oh, that's a
fancy ass
good glass. Nice.
Yeah, we got all these like fancy, like they're from Prague or something. They're like nice beer glasses.
I have a nondescript glass bottle.
Yeah. But what's funny is that it looks so nice and fancy, and it's just a Miller Lite in here.
Oh, I was like, oh, that's a Stella for sure.
No.
My boy's drinking a Stella. No, he's just drinking.
No.
Dude, I also got a
water.
I got a Sapporo last night when we got sushi. Yeah, it was really good. Oh,
Have you had it in like the giant metal, like the can, like the weird? You got to try that, dude. It's life changing.
the can that's like shaped like a.
It's
I
so
just made,
good.
like the hourglass shape. But yeah.
Dude, I had a kick where I was buying those like twice a week. It was bad.
Oh, that's
It was
fair.
dope.
That was me in college with the. Do I want to say this? That was me in college with the Four Locos. There was like a whole
yeah.
There's like a whole week we got Four Locos and it was bad.
Yeah, I never did the Four Loko thing. I've had a couple of Mad Dogs in my day, but
Dude, Mad Dogs are like that special something.
I just love the orange one. It's just like Sunny D. But
Yeah. I need a Mad Dog morning. No.
No,
you don't
no
think
one
so?
needs that. No.
All right, that's fine. Whatever. Maybe I'll just be all by myself. If anyone else wants to have a Mad Dog morning with me that's listening to this, comment below. Hit the like and subscribe button.
Have a Mad Dog mimosa.
Yeah, have a Mad Dog mimosa with the co-host of Commander Paradise.
I did mimosas one time with like a nicer light beer. I forget what it was. It was some like German, really really pale ale and orange juice, and it was really good.
Nice, like instead of champagne.
Yeah,
Oh, sick. Okay, I mean I could see that being pretty smacking.
it was good.
I love like a really dry champagne for my mimosas.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Drink it and then you're like, ooh, I need another drink because it's
I just
too
like a dry champagne. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
The super sweet stuff.
No, it's just it's too sweet. It hurts.
Yeah,
I'm like that with the
Megan-
wines too.
Megan's really into super sweet wine, and she doesn't like the wine I like at all. So we can never like share a bottle of wine. So if we're both in the mood for wine, we both got to drink a bottle of wine. It's like, oh no, why can't we just split one bottle?
Yeah. Oh no, we have to have 4 glasses each instead of 2.
I know, and it's such a big difference. It's like just splitting a bottle of wine is just so chill. It's like it's fine, it's like 2 glasses each or something.
Yeah, it's the same amount as like 2 beers. 2 glasses of wine is the perfect amount of wine.
Yeah, it's just, but now it's like, oh, I got this whole bottle that I have to like drink within a week, or it goes bad.
Yeah, and then are you gonna drink it again later, or are you just gonna forget about it?
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Sometimes I use it for cooking if I remember in time.
I don't buy wine that's good enough for cooking is the problem.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, people in cooking shows are like, only cook with wine that you would actually drink. And I was like, that's not saying anything, my guy.
I was like, yep, all right, here's the $5 basically grape juice wine going into my risotto.
Some barefoot risotto.
I was a barefoot Chardonnay guy. Excuse me.
The pink one? I bought the pink one a couple times.
Is it the rosé?
No, it's not the rosé. It's different than that. It's like a pink Moscato, I think.
Oh, that is another one.
For like some trash wine, it's fine.
Yeah.
My aunt is like a wine snob. Like she's like, she has some like her and my uncle have some like $500 bottles of wine like in their house. Like
That's
wine
crazy.
Snobs. Yeah, just like casually, and like they've bought like $1,000 wine before, not like all the time, but they've done it. And
Yeah.
when I graduated college, we went to dinner, and I was like, oh, we should try some 19 Crimes, and I was like, that's what me and my mom were drinking at dinner, was 19 Crimes, and my mom was like, no, this is fine. My aunt was like visibly pale when she tried it. She was like, like she was so upset, but. Oh well.
That's really funny. I feel like that's like just when you have a palate and you know what you're looking for and you taste something, it probably tastes like Kamchatka does, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just like lowest grade quality ingredient, like, or lowest quality ingredients. That's what I was trying to say. That's funny.
Well, it's been like 5 minutes of gibber gabber. Should we talk about what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, we were gibbering and gabbering. Now it's time to venture into the jungle. I think we're doing, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're doing another tier list today, aren't we?
Correct.
Tier list.
We're doing the same thing we did last time with Commander, like all the legends that came out of Commander precons. So they skipped a year. So it was the original set was Commander in 2011. And then they didn't do anything for 2012 because they didn't know how it was going to go over. So they didn't have anything like designed. And so they skipped a year and then they designed them for November of 2013. Something like that. And nice. Then I think they did like a Commander anthology. It was like, here's like some like dope cards for your Commander deck. And that was like, they reprinted like Rustic Study and like something else. But so we're just talking about the 2013 Legends. There's some cool ones. This one was all allied color, triple colored Legends. So like last time where they did the enemy colors like Mardu and Jeskai and Sultai, for this one they did the allied colors. So because when Commander 11 happened, there's never been an allied tricolored set. Or enemy color tricolor set, so they did that first to like just get more legends out there, and then
nice. Okay,
because Shards of Lara came out in like 2009 or something, and that was a tricolor ally color set, and that was the first tricolor set, and it was so you got Naya, Bant, Jund, Grixis, and Esper, or the Shards of Alara, and so they're called the Shards. And so a bunch of legends from Shards of Alara are reprinted in these decks. Like Mael the Anima is in a deck.
What was the other one?
Rafik.
Was it
I don't know.
Thraxmundar?
Oh, Thraxmundar, yeah.
Thraxmundar.
Yeah, Mael. Oh, Sekuar, the Death Keeper.
Yeah.
Thraxmundar, Sharum the Hegemon, who's like a Esper Sphinx, and then Rabina Soul Singer. Not all these are from Shards of Alara, though.
Oh, that's okay. They're getting out there.
You ready? Should we do this?
Are we jumping into it?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm ready.
Here we go. So we got our tier list, and just like last time, our tiers are goated. That means they're one of the greatest of all time. Just an amazing commander. They're super fun. They're super flavorful. They're super cool. They do something interesting. They do something that no other commander does. They're just one of the best ones ever made. And then we got busted and or annoying. This is like your Corvold. Annoying. This is your Corvolds, your Tulanes, your Jodo the Unifiers, things that are just like so pushed and so ridiculous and like probably shouldn't exist, but oh well. Then we have this Sparks Joy. Means we like it. They're cool. They're nice. I like looking at this guy. We got Meh, which means they are meh. You know what meh means.
Meh. Yeah.
And then we got Stinky. These are the worst. These are the worst of the worst. You hate to see it, but sometimes there's a stinker.
Hate to smell it, love to see it. Also brought to you by
like
Truly. Sponsored. #sponsored.
#sponsored by Truly.
But yeah, I think, and these are the ones going forward. Also #sponsored by the Digimon trading card game.
Oh, thank you, Bandai Namco.
But yeah, these are the ones I think we're gonna do this going forward for most of them. So,
until we get bored.
Yeah,
we'll see how long it lasts.
It feels like something needs to change, which it doesn't yet. So, who do we want to dive into first, though? Because
First up, we got kind of a nutty one. This guy's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's Derevi, Imperial Tactician.
Ooh.
A green and a white and a blue for a bird wizard. A 2/3 flying bird wizard. Whenever it enters the battlefield or a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may tap or untap target permanent. And then you can pay 1, a green, a white, and a blue, and put Derevi onto the battlefield from the command zone.
What do you think?
I think this card is a mistake. It's definitely a, like, they were trying something with, like, the pay 4 to put Derevi onto the battlefield from the command zone.
Yeah.
But that is definitely a mistake because it cheats commander attacks and it doesn't cast. So you can't counter it and it cheats commander attacks. So you just pay it for 3 mana. Yeah, it's put onto the battlefield. Yeah. It's not you may cast it for this cost. It's put on the battlefield. So you can't counter it and it cheats commander attacks with like two big sins. It's like Yuriko, where it's like Yuriko cheats commander attacks. Like Yuriko always costs 2 mana because you're ninjutsu from the command zone, which is like a cool idea, but in practice, it's like bad. And so this was the first time they did that. And it's still 4 mana, but that's way cheaper.
Yeah, I mean 4 mana compared to like continually racking up 2 is obviously like a big fucking difference. I think also it not being a cast, so you can't even really respond to it, is stinky. I wasn't even really thinking about that part. And then I was looking.
That's probably that's the worst thing.
Yeah. Well, and also it just leads. I was looking at the deck list, and it leads to a lot of like stacks builds. I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, this wouldn't be like you could definitely build this card in a way that wouldn't be the most annoying deck in the world. You know what I mean? Like it by itself untaps a target permanent. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like inherently that crazy aside from the put onto the battlefield thing. But then when you're mixing it, like one of the combos was Stasis and Smothering Tithe, where the whole goal is to just lock everyone out and make a bunch of treasure and stuff. And it's like, that's just like not super fun. You know, there's a lot of other blink decks that you could play or untap decks that you could play that would be a lot more fun than this. And then on top of it being like a super fun build, you also can't just deal with the fucking bird, you know. He's always going to come back, and it's kind of like you said, it's like Yuriko and shit, but like, yeah, definitely, I would say annoying.
Yeah, definitely annoying. And like, you don't have to build Derevi the stacks route. Like, you definitely don't have to do that, but it's just kind of the most powerful thing to do is to stack out. It's like stopping your opponents from doing anything, and only you get to do things until you win. Like, that's like control is just like objectively, like stacks is objectively powerful in Commander, and so the most powerful thing to do with this is stacks. Like there's Derevi CEDH decks where you can like untap them a bunch of times and do infinite stuff, and it's just a stacks deck.
And does it trigger every time something hits? It's not just once.
Or a creature you control deals combat damage to a player. So you just put flyers in here and stacks pieces, and so you're just flying over, untapping all your stuff, then you can cast more flyers and more stacks pieces, and hold up counter magic, and then just it's game over. And it's just like, well, thanks. So I see what they were going for here. It's definitely interesting, but I think it's a mistake.
Yeah. I think that, and there's another card in this like grouping that both do like things that are just like non-interactable, but not in a way that's like set based. You know what I mean? To me, Eminence is a little more understandable because they were like, let's try this with these 4 decks. Like this whole route is trying Eminence, and then they were like, whoop, it didn't work. We don't like it. You know, like it's too much. Depending on like what that extra buff is, but I feel like with this one they kind of just threw a couple of things on cards, and there's stuff that you can't really deal with, and it doesn't make sense for like the grouping of cards that are coming out with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But But I say this is annoying. You can build this in a way that's not busted because I don't think inherently untapping stuff can be busted. But I do think it's annoying as shit.
Oh, I think it's busted. It's definitely busted because all the other reasons, and then also like it's a blink deck, which is kind of busted. Like blink decks can be busted.
There's nothing wrong with
Untapping
blink
shenanigans
decks.
can be busted.
Watch what you're saying.
I'll say it again.
Don't do it.
Hey, we'll come back to it. There's a whole blink dude.
There is, yeah.
Can you see? Did you see when I went to Scryfall and then back to the tier list?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This next one's kind of interesting. I always forget this dude exists. It is, what's his name? Okay, we're not going in order, but that's okay.
That's okay. We're going in our order.
Oh, okay. Gahiji, Honored One.
Nice. I think that was good.
2 and Naya for a legendary beast. Whenever a creature attacks one or more of your opponents, or one of your opponents, or a planeswalker an opponent controls, that creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I think it's fun. It's like a light goad. Goad light.
It's like Goad, but without the forcing.
Yes.
It's just incentivizes you to attack other people.
Yeah. Kind of like Brina. It's like, if you do this, you get something, but if not, it's not like you're...
If you do it, your dude will be a little bigger.
Huh? Do you want to do it? Huh?
And it's symmetrical, but it's not towards you. So it's...
Yes.
Because it affects everyone, but it doesn't affect you. So it's not symmetrical, but you know what I mean. Or like, it's just all... So it affects your creatures, so your creatures are bigger, and all your opponent's creatures that are attacking other people are bigger.
It's a isosceles triangle, where it's got an isosceles triangle. It's got two sides that are the same and one side that's littler, and you're the littler side. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. What's the third one where it's like all three sides are messed up?
That's what I wasn't
Is that
sure.
the name?
8. No. There's isosceles. Is there... Acute is an angle.
Scaling triangles.
Scaling. Dude. Scaling is a good...
That's a good word.
Yeah. I always thought that was a good word, but obviously I forgot it, so maybe it wasn't that good.
It could be like a girl's name, like a white girl's name.
I was thinking of it like a band name. What's up? We're scaling.
Ooh, that is a good band name. Oh, that's like a math rock band.
Yeah. That's what math rock sounds like to me.
No, it wasn't in like 518. It doesn't count.
Oh, that's fair. I'm sorry. I only know how to count to 4, so I can't math or rock.
All music, you can count to 4 if you count it in 4. So, what do you think about? What do you think about this Kahiji Honored One fellow? What do you think about him?
I might say meh.
Yeah, he just kind of doesn't do anything. I feel like you can definitely make a cool deck out of that, but I don't think that's because of him. I think that's just like a cool Naya creature deck.
Yes. Because this isn't... You're not actively doing anything with this card. You know what I mean? There's no choice.
Besides just... Yeah.
It's just like... It's dependent on people swinging. And if people are not swinging, you're not doing any... Like, you're not... Your commander's not doing anything. And then outside of that, it's a little, like, kind of bum. It's fun. It's cool. It's probably a solid card in the 99 for a big creature deck or something, you know? But outside... Like, for a commander... that is like framed as mythic, you know, when this came out, just feels like pretty underpowered for what it is.
Yeah, definitely meh.
If it gave a keyword, it might help a little bit. Like if it gave your creatures trample, you know, or something, where you got some other buff for attacking, that could be pretty cool. But just the blanket +2/+0 is kind of like, okay.
Yeah, for sure. Who we got next? Okay, this lady's interesting.
Yeah, this is someone that we actually already talked about too.
Yeah, we talked about her in our last episode.
The last one. If you want to listen to it, it is almost 99% likely under where you're listening now. This next card is Jeleva Nephalia's Scourge. Is that right? Did I say that?
Nephalia.
Nephalia, thank you. She's a vampire wizard with flying, a 1/3. And whenever Jeleva enters the battlefield, each player exiles the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast Jeleva. And whenever she attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from among the exiled cards with Jeleva without paying its mana cost. I think this is actually pretty fun and pretty cool. Especially looking at some of the other cards from this set where they were doing this do X thing where X is the amount of mana that you paid for the commander, which like I personally think is way more fun. You know, like getting a slight advantage for having your commander cost 2 more is like, I think, really fun, especially for this, you know, because you're hitting 4 cards the first time, 6 cards the next time. Yeah, and also all those cards stay in exile. You don't have to pick one to exile with Jeleva. They all stay under.
Yeah, they're just gone forever.
You just keep going. Yeah, I think it's sick. It's fun. It seems really cool, actually.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because there are, like, if you can get infinite mana and then, like, sack Jeleva and just, like, get infinite casts or something.
Yeah.
You can just mill everyone's libraries out. Or exile their libraries away.
Yeah.
So that's kind of and that sounds like some weird jank combo thing, which sounds kind of fun. And Grixis colors are just powerful. So you get options. It's kind of like a mill deck. I feel like a mill deck with this is pretty interesting.
You could do mill / like spell slinger too, because you're casting instants and sorceries for free. Mm-hmm. So like you could just build on both of those things and like casting stuff from the graveyard.
Yeah, because and when you just blink her a lot, just get the enter the battlefield thing, or like the black blink with like Malakir Rebirth and stuff.
Oh yeah, where it dies and returns to the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. So you're just doing a bunch of stuff, and then if you're building your own deck to do that, you can just cast all those instants and sorceries from exile to keep doing that.
I don't think that would work though, because if you reanimate her, there's no mana spent to cast her, so she won't actually trigger.
Oh, I see. Whereas X the amount of mana spent to cast Jeleva, so you gotta like bounce her.
Yeah, or like it. So there's like 2 ways you could probably go about it. One would be bouncing her and always doing 4, which would also work because you wouldn't have to worry about commander tags, and that's like good commander protection. But the other thing is, and I think a lot of these like X does thing with however much mana you spent to cast your commander, is if you can get an infinite loop where you can sack it and then cast it again and sack it and cast it again and keep racking up that commander tax to get it higher and higher too. That's how you like try and really take advantage of it. I think with Jeleva, this is like one of the more casual versions of this, because there's another commander we'll talk about later that is like the perfect infinite mana sink. It just kind of like the gears start turning, and if you get infinite mana, it doesn't really stop. With this, she still has to attack for you to get the payoff of casting anything for free. But if you were to get infinite mana and like an altar or something, you could just exile everybody's libraries. But I think it's a cool card, and the art is like really cool. I like how like human it is. How realistic
the art's
it
very
is.
compelling.
Yeah.
Where is Nephalia? Is Nephalia?
I don't know. Let's Google. Let's research, mama.
It's Innistrad, so she's like, because she's a vampire. That makes sense.
I was thinking about how they're releasing, as we're recording this, they just announced some of the spoilers for the new Ixalan set, and I'm kind of curious. I want to see some of the new vampires. I think that some of that could be fun.
Yeah, because they're like Spanish vampires. They're like conquistador kind of vibe.
Yeah,
which is very interesting.
Which is fun, and they're like Mardu vampires, which is kind of fun.
Or Orzhov. No, they're white. They're white and they're black.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the creature types in Ixalan are weird because it's like Grixis pirates, Naya dinosaurs, Simic merfolk, Orzhov.
Vampires. Yeah.
So it's like 2 3-color, 2 2-color.
Yeah.
We're getting the 4 decks again. The commander decks are going to be the creature types.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is
nice.
cool. Yeah, there's a pirate deck coming out. There's a dinosaur deck. There's a vampire. There's a merfolk deck. Because they're not doing that theme as much in this set. The set is like other things, I guess.
Nice. That's still sick, though. I mean, that's cool that they're going to... Because I think all of those types deserve more. Maybe not vampires necessarily.
Yeah.
But merfolk and dinosaurs always deserve more cards.
Yeah, we don't have a merfolk commander yet. That, I mean, we do, but I don't think there's any that are like super compelling. We don't have like a merfolk Tovolar, or like how fairies just got like 2 good fairy commanders. Like just like 1 solid merfolk commander would be cool.
I think merfolk need to make tokens too. Got to make like a merfolk 1/1 or something with Island Walk. You know, you got to have like all these other typals have ways of making bodies, but it doesn't seem like merfolk do as much. I feel like if they did like a token addition to it, it could help. But yeah, what do I know?
But I wish it was white. It's got to be Bant merfolk, so you can get the Lorwyn, because Lorwyn merfolk were white and blue.
Yeah.
So like Rig, Sig, River Guide.
Buff Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think about Jaleva? Where's that? Where they go?
I would say maybe the Sparks Joy. I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think it's interesting. It's not one I would play, but it's cool. I think it's a cool design.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Jaleva build. Like a fun Jaleva build. Like, what do you guys got? What do you guys got? Give it to me. I want your most depraved combos.
Another cool one. This
is the one I was talking about.
There's another one actually too.
But what is this one?
Marath, Will of the Wild, shouts out to Sam from Howling Salt Mine Podcast.
He's the he's the head of our Marath Discord.
A Marath Discord.
Yeah, he's head of the Marath Discord. So, and you know, after reading this card, I understand why. It's pretty fun.
But it's Naya colors, so 3 mana elemental beast. When it enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of mana spent to cast it. So when you cast it the first time, it enters with 3 +1/+1 counters. Then you can pay X and remove X +1 counters from Marath and choose 1. Put X +1/+1 counters on target creature, or Marath deals X damage to target creature or player, or put an XX green elemental creature token onto the battlefield.
Noise. I think it's one. I love the art. I think the art is really fun.
The fire cow.
Yeah. But also
Tyler Jacobson art. That's cool.
Nice. I don't know his stuff very much.
They did the whole Battle of Pelennor Fields, like the big scene.
Oh,
with, like,
they did that
Masters
whole thing.
And Aragorn. Yeah, he did that whole thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he does some other good cards.
I mean, that whole thing alone is insane.
Aragorn. Oh, the Blazing Sunsteel in that thing.
Oh, okay, nice. Cemetery Gatekeeper is cool art too.
Gimli. Oh, he did this guy.
Oh,
Grimlock.
Yeah. That's sick.
Oh, the new Watley. So yeah, Tyler Jacobson's rad. He's done awesome stuff.
Yeah, very sick. Oh, and he did Jace Mirror Mage. Classic. Yeah, I think this card is sick because it's like the perfect infinite mana sink. You know, you get infinite mana and you can just like dome the whole table.
Yeah, because it's deal damage equal to target creature or player. You can also buff your creatures, and you can also make just a bunch of tokens. You can make a bunch of 1/1s.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Or a bunch of like 69 elemental creature tokens, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever your heart desires.
Yeah. And there's definitely Naya color combos you can do, like Teamer Sabretooth and Dockside Extortionist, and you can do Emil the Blessed and Dockside Extortionist with enough Dockside stuff out there. So that's definitely possible.
Yeah. Oh, easy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if we have to talk about this one too much more.
Yeah, he's just cool. I like him. He's sweet, and he's wide open that you can like. Oh, I want to do a +1/+1 counters thing. Oh, I want to do a tokens thing. I want to focus on like dealing damage. You can mix and match and just kind of make like a toolboxy Naya deck, which is interesting, all based around the commander. And when you kill off your commander and then you cast him again, he has more fuel, which is cool.
I like it a lot.
He's kind of a Hydra. He's like because the more mana, the bigger that +1/+1 counters.
Yeah, essentially a Hydra.
Yeah. Functional Hydra. What do you think about Marath?
Do I say it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
That's up to you.
Well, no, but it's up to you.
Well, say what your heart says.
I'm hearing Paint with All the Colors of the Wind in my head right now.
That song is kind of amazing.
It is. It's incredible. It's gorgeous.
Have you ever seen the wolf cry at the full moon? So good.
Now I'm just getting hit with like wave after wave of nostalgia, which is not what I need right now.
I'm trying to rewind to VHS and watch some Pocahontas.
I'm trying to watch it play backwards before I watch it play forwards.
Oh, but if you, yeah.
Well, if it was a movie you hadn't seen before, you turn the TV off and you rewind it without the screen on, just to keep the suspense.
Yeah.
The more I'm thinking about it, I would say this sparks joy.
I think he sparks joy as well. I like him. He's cool. Yeah. I don't think he's like one of the best of all time, but he is cool.
Is definitely super fun.
He's cool.
Yeah.
I just like that he's like a cow. I think the cow, that's really what sells him for me, honestly.
Yeah, a burning cow.
The art is really compelling. Okay, we got a crazy one.
I was to say, which one? What do we got?
Nekusar, the Mind Razor.
Woo, woo, woo.
Ryan and I are very familiar with this. We have a Nekusar player in our pod.
Shout out Brody. Yeah, incredibly familiar with this card. Sorry, continue.
Yes, and so it's a 2, a blue, a black, and a red for a zombie wizard, 2/4. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. So he's a group help commander, right?
Yeah. Just
Wrong.
A nice guy.
Whenever an opponent draws a card, Nekusar the Mind Razor deals 1 damage to that player.
Bonk.
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 Yeah, so this card is pretty nuts because you just start wheeling. You just start making everyone draw a bunch of cards, or you just play things. What's that one blue? Is it like Fevered Visions or something? That like blue red one.
Dreams.
It's the one Brody always plays and makes me want to die.
Yeah, there's that one, and there's also that. I think it's like a 1-mana black parasite.
I hate Keteric Parasite. That thing is the worst. Yeah, Fevered Visions. At the beginning of each player's end step, that player draws a card. The player is your opponent. If that player is your opponent and has 4 more cards in their hand, Fevered Visions deals 2 damage to his or her. So it just starts adding up. So with Nekusar out, that's actually 3 damage at end step.
And there will almost never be a time you don't have over a full grip. I think every time we play this deck, it snowballs into because I think what Brody said is he's only ever won once. What it does is it snowballs into everything exploding, and then right before the whole table dies, the whole table kills the Nekusar player. Everyone's got a full grip and a full board and like 4 health, and then it's just like a bloodbath. So it's like Nekusar always dies first, but whatever's happening next is always ludicrous because it's just everyone's got too much gas and too much stuff and not enough life to like actually do anything with it. So, but it's sick. It goes really fast.
Yeah, if you're having long games and you're tired of having long games, just build a Nekusar deck and your pot games will fucking shoot faster.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially if you ramp it and you get him out even a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And he's a 2/4, which is a solid body.
Yeah, decent little blocker. It's a lot of 3-power stuff.
Yeah. I think Nekusar is sick. The art has always been good.
Yeah,
no matter
the art is so cool. He looks so cool.
Yeah.
It's like a lich, the mind raiser. He's raising minds. He's in some like crypt.
And the flavor text says his enemies wondered if the Lich King's brutal death and unnatural rebirth had been part of his plan all along, which is like so crazy. Like that's kind of always the point with a Lich. Having played D&D, it's like you do all the research into becoming a Lich, and then you go through the process, and then are like an all-powerful wizard.
Yeah, liches are cool.
Yeah. Where are you gonna stash Neki? Where's Neki gonna go on the list?
I think he's goated.
I think so too. It's
like
so good.
He's like borderline on annoying, but all the games we've played with Nekusar have just been a blast. Like he's just made the game more fun and faster, so I don't mind him. I like some people complain about him. Like if you're just doing wheels and you're just spreading out the table and like making everyone draw a million cards. Which is probably how you should do it, but I don't know. I think he's fun.
I mean, for every commander, there's an optimal way to build it, and then there's just a for fun way to build it. If you build a for fun Nekusar deck, it does turn into like half group hug, half punching your friends in the face while you hug them, and that leads to some really funny, crazy game things, especially when you've got other cards that are making people draw additional stuff, because people are just going to constantly be casting stuff because everyone's going to hit their land drops. They're only going to be discarding their chaff, the stuff that they don't need. But like with all of these, you could also shove a Soul Ring, a Mana Crypt, Man of all everything in there, and then you could just wheel till your heart's content, and then Mizzix Mastery and wheel all your wheels again. There's definitely those builds too, and all of your builds are valid.
That's a lie.
Yeah, if you use Soul Ring, fuck you dirty Magic player. What do we got next?
This next one is quite divisive. This was the most popular commander for a long time until Atraxa came out. This was like the one with the most decks.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
So it's a Loro Ageless Ascetic. I don't know what that means. I don't know what ascetic
Google
is.
it real fast. Oh, you
characterized by or suggesting the practice of severe self-discipline or abstention from all forms of indulgence, typically for religious reasons. So it's like
an extreme monastic life.
Yeah. Person who practices severe self-discipline and abstention. Interesting.
Yeah.
So he's just like, he's a giant soldier. I don't know why he's a soldier and he's an ascetic. That's kind of strange.
Yeah, because all the pictures we just saw were like fairly emaciated statues
like
of
monks.
People not indulging in the world, and this guy has a ripped six-pack.
And a sword and like a throne. Like he's indulging in being badass.
He's definitely indulging in that. There's one crime being committed here.
Yeah. So he says, he's got a lot of words. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 2 life. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card and each opponent loses 1 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, if a Loro Ageless Ascetic is in the command zone, you gain 2 life. So this is kind of the first try at imminence.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's just because, like, no matter what, like, you start the game at 42 life.
Yes.
You start the game with more life because, like, the first thing you do in Magic, the first thing that happens is you get an upkeep. So you're already having an upkeep trigger. You have a turn 0 upkeep trigger, which is insane. And yeah, it's just gaining 2 life. But life is a resource, and just for free gaining 2 life that no one can do anything about that's insane.
Yeah.
And then you're in white and black, so you're doing this for free. Or you can pay off for life gain for so free. Like, imagine getting a free veto trigger every turn.
Yeah.
Like, veto is a good card. You're, like, going up. It's a 4-point life swing. You're going up 2, and your opponent's going down 2. And you're getting that for free. Like, veto is so good, and, like, triggering veto is, like, so important. And you just get it for free.
Yeah. The other thing, what also sucks about this is there's combos that do stuff like that. So, like, if you've got the Exquisite Blood Veto combo, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And
you just get that for free.
Yeah, and, like, unless they're able to kill it a turn before, you can't interact with it. Because once it goes on the stack, you can't stop it.
And then you're in blue, so you can counter all those responses.
Yeah, and you're in the perfect colors for both life gain and life loss. So you, white and black, Orzhov, you can take really, really good advantage of this. And I'm heated. I've been thinking about this all day. I hate the way it's written. I hate that it just says if at the beginning of your upkeep, if it's in the command zone, you gain 2 life. I think Eminence I could wrap my head around because it's a little keyword. It's like, this is what it's supposed to do. This one at the end of the card, they were like, well, I don't know if gaining 2 life and paying 1 to make everyone draw a card and lose a life is enough. Let's just throw this on there too. I think it looks dumb. I don't like this card.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it does nothing, but it does a lot just because the nothing it does is so free and literally impossible to interact with.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I don't like it. I think I don't really like Eminence Commanders. Like, I don't like the idea of them. Some of them are cool, some of them are fine. But just the idea of this ability I don't think is good for Commander, and I'm glad they haven't really done more of them. They did their initial Eminence, and then they did the Knights Eminence guy recently, and that one's fine.
That's,
because you're playing Knights. Knights don't do anything, so it's like, whatever. You can make it a little, and it just draws a card. You draw a card and you discard a card. That's it. That's the whole Eminence ability, which is like good, but
yeah.
What do we think?
This card is a stinker.
No, it's not a stinky implies like a bad. Like, I would put this in busted or annoying personally.
Okay.
Because it's annoying. And it's busted because it breaks the rules.
And I think, but oh, well, I guess, are we going stinky by design standards and not stinky by metaphorical standards?
Sure.
Okay, that's fine. That's all I need to do. I don't.
Sure.
It is busted and annoying. Then it is not stinky. Stinky was a personal.
Stinky is like,
I should never
think about what
my personal opinion into this. That was my fault as a content creator.
Like, we did stinky with like that battle angel that did like nothing. That was like 7 mana, like, kiss your opponent on the mouth. Like, that's all that thing did. It was like, what are we doing here?
I can't wait for the Valentine's unset where they're gonna make all these gamers kiss.
Bassandra Battle Seraph.
Yeah, that card
Players
sucks.
can't cast spells during combat. Target creature attacks as turn available. Got him.
Got him.
Got him. Whatever.
Well, yeah, then we'll toss Alaro in the busted and annoying because he is definitely both of those. And also, you cannot be a super self-disciplined monk person who doesn't indulge in the world and have a 6-pack. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
But this next one is pretty fun, isn't it? We got a big dragon.
After we take a short break because I want to get a drink.
Oh, he's taking PP. He's PP.
No, I'm getting a drinky poo. I don't need a pee.
He's PPing. I'm gonna get a drink too. I'll be right back.
Cool. So next up, We got Prosh, Skyrider of Kerr of Carekeep. This is a reference to kobolds of Carekeep, and like there's some Legends card where it's like King of the Kobolds of Carekeep or something like that. And so they've been around for a long time, like the kobolds of Carekeep. And so this is the dragon of Carekeep. And so it's a 5/5 flyer. Legendary creature dragon for 3, a black, a green, and a red. So a Jund commander. And whenever you cast Prosh, Skyrider of Kerr, create X01 kobold creature tokens named Kobolds of Carekeep, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast Prosh. So they've done this a lot, this set, where it's like the amount of mana spent to cast the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then sacrifice another creature. It gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So it gets fire breathing by eating the kobolds that it makes. But who cares about that? Because this goes infinite with one card. Food chain.
How so? Explain.
So because Prosh enters the battlefield, you make a bunch of kobolds, and then you can exile a creature you control, add X mana of any one color, where X is 1 plus exile creature's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells, so you can get infinite cast triggers. Because you sacrifice the dude.
Oh, you sacrifice
Prosh
to cast Prosh
to food chain, and you just keep netting.
Oh my god!
Kobolds.
Yeah,
because you get more kobolds.
Because you just have to sack Prosh and then an additional 2 kobolds every time, but you're always going to come up with like you're starting out with
way
6.
more kobolds.
You go down to 4. Yeah. You go up to 12. You go down to 8, and then you go up to what? That's crazy. That's like beyond exponential.
Yeah,
like it's not
and
even.
So
it
just goes
bigger.
from there,
yeah.
and then you just need one card to win. You just need like an Impact Tremors. You need a Zulaport Cutthroat. You need a Perforos. You need a Bastion of Remembrance. You need either a die trigger. It's exile a creature. Actually, it's not a sacrifice. So it's got to be like an enter the battlefield effect. Or you just get infinite mana and then you dump it into some big X thing, like a Comet Storm or a Walking Ballista.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. So he's.
Yeah, I mean you're in. Let the beat drop. You're in Jund, so you've also got like Torment of Hailfire.
What? Yeah. Just a big X spell, just Torment of Hailfire will do it.
So you're also in red. You've got big X spells that are going to deal damage. You're also in Gruul, so you could play Rhythm of the Wild, and then you could Crater Hoof. It's kind of just like, what do you do once you have infinite mana? Is kind of the...
Which is just whatever you want.
Yeah. It's free real estate.
Yeah. Well, you can only use the mana to cast creature spells, so that does limit it a little bit. But then you can just funnel all those into like a Phyrexian altar, because you're going to net infinite kobolds, and so you can funnel those into a way to get normal infinite mana.
Yeah, sick.
So, yeah, it just goes infinite with one card, which is kind of nuts. It's like just kind of a classic card. It's cool. It's a big dragon that makes a bunch of tokens. It's like an interesting design.
I think it's pretty fun.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I do hate that it's a one-card combo, because I just don't like one-card combos. Personally, I don't play them anymore. I don't play decks where that's like a thing.
Yeah.
For casual commander. Like your Malcolm and your Glinthorn Buccaneer, or
what's the rat one in Iara?
Yeah, Plague of Vermin.
Yes.
Or Morality Shift and Sir Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
Or Heliod and Walking Ballista, where it's just like you just need one card and your commander to win the game. For casual, I don't like that personally. That's definitely a personal thing. That's not There's nothing wrong with playing those combos. It's just like how I just don't find it compelling for my gameplay. But
it feels a little
totally up to you.
Linear. You know, you're kind of hitting the same.
Yeah, it's just linear. Especially because I was tutoring for stuff. I was like, I'm going to tutor. Because there's a pirate tutor. I was like, oh, I just tutor for Glenhorn Buccaneer every single time.
Yeah.
I was like, I could take out the pirate tutor, but then I like having the pirate tutor because it's a pirate deck. And I want to be able to tutor for pirates.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So, I don't know. But he's a classic. And he's a big, cool dragon. He's a cool reference to, like, something old in Magic history. And I'm a sucker for that. So, I don't know. He's probably goated. I think he's goated.
Yeah. I'd say the
it.
one card combo makes it a little higher. Yeah. And also being that the Care Keep thing is fun. They're still, like, releasing stuff for that.
Like, Rograk.
Yes.
I think it's from Care Keep.
Yep. And then Rograk's dad came out.
Yeah.
He didn't come out. He's not gay. But, like...
We stand.
we stand the giant gay kobold. What is his name? I'm going to Google it real fast.
It's just syllables. It's like...
I'm going to be searching for a second. But I'm good for Goated. I think Goated's a solid spot for it.
I'm also looking for this dude.
Roga, Carekeep Overlord. It is 2 and Rakdos for Kobold Warrior. Other Kobold you control get +2/+2, which is a freaking... Dude, that's such a freaking crazy buff. Dude, because they come down as, like, what, they're 0/1s. Yeah, so that makes them 2/3s, which is solid. That's a good body. Whenever you cast a Kobold spell, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Whenever you cast a dragon spell, create a Kobold. So basically, you cast a dragon and add 2 to it, and you make 2 tokens and get a dragon. And those tokens are really good blockers.
Kobolds.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're also 2/3 kobolds.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. I forgot this existed.
Yeah, it's like a solid card, and I like the art. I like the way he's, like, lounging with the big bag.
Yeah, he looks like a gremlin. He looks like Stripe.
Yeah, with those huge, massive ears.
All those Dominaria United commanders were sweet, and, like, no one built them, but they're all, like, really amazing.
Yeah, that was a cool set. I think that was, like, at least how I felt, that was partially, like, peak fucking the overload. Like, this time last year, I was just like, this is too much. And everything in that set was a legend, too.
Yeah, it had a legendary theme.
Yeah, but it just, like, makes it so that, like, a lot of commanders kind of, like, slip through.
Oh, well.
Yo, if you got
they
Roga...
did another kobold. There's, like, another legendary kobold that came out that's, like, cute. I forget where he came from.
If you got a Roga Carekeep Overlord deck, give
Let
us
us
a
know.
share. Yeah.
I want to see your list.
People were sharing deck lists after the last episode, and it was fucking sick. So if you listen to this and you got a deck that you want to share with us, put that shit in the comments. Put it in there.
Oh, yeah, this dude. Look at that. Rosnat, heir of Roga.
Oh, dude.
So she's like Rogak's, like, sister.
I love the helmet. The helmet is sick. Oh,
She's
that's fun. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, the battle cry and then making the tokens is so much fun.
Yeah, Battle Cry is a really cool mechanic. And then you got Rogak, of course. Super busted card. Just being a 0 mana.
First Strike Menace Trampler is crazy.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then, yeah, here's this. That's the original one. So Rogak of Carekeep, 2 black, red. All your kobolds of Carekeep gain +2/+2. Pay red during your upkeep, or Rogak and all kobolds of Carekeep become tapped and come to under opponent's control. Oh my, that's some old magic right there.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's two black and 2 red, and then if you don't pay the upkeep cost for your 6 mana 5/5 creature, it goes to somebody else.
Yeah. And then you got this dude. He's interesting.
Yeah, I was to say, what is that, a set or is that an online thing? Oh, it's a game night.
It's a set. It's from the Game Nights 3. So like there was 5. There's a monocolor commander of each color.
Nice.
And this one is like a dragon one, but it's a kobold. So it's like that Dragon Speaker Shaman. It's like a Dragon Speaker Shaman in the command zone.
That's solid.
Yeah.
There's also like Pack of the Mighty too, which is a kobold from the AFR set where if you attack with like power 6 or greater, you put a dragon on the battlefield or something like that.
Yeah,
That's a good card. Oh, kobolds are fun. They're just like fucking dumb. And it's just like D&D lore. It's like anytime we played against kobolds and you were DMing, they were always just like kind of idiots.
Yeah, I mean they're goblin adjacent things. They're dragon goblins.
I love them. They're cute.
Yeah, they're cool.
Shit, where the fuck were we?
I think we just goaded our boy Prosh, and now we're going on to the next one. Oh, I just canceled out a Scryfall. Yeah, we were in the tank there looking at some kobolds.
It's National Kobold Day, so.
Who up talking about their kobold?
Yeah.
We got Rune of the Hidden Realm, 2 green, white and a blue. Vigilance Trample 4/4, so it's a decent attacker. For a Rhino Soldier, we still don't know where Rune is from.
Really?
We don't know. Yeah, he's from like an undisclosed plane. And then you can pay 2.
So hard. Sorry, go ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
Pay 2, tap him, exile another target creature, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step.
In the flavor text is time and space are just new battlefields to be mastered, which is like so sick. And also to know, like you saying that he doesn't have a plane that he's from and stuff, that's like so much more fun too. He's just like a warrior traveling through space and time and like conquering anything. Can I be honest though? I think it's pretty meh. I don't think it's really that good. Yeah. I mean, Vigilance and Trample is like fine.
Mm-hmm.
But paying 2 and tapping it to blink, to fully blink one thing, you're not flickering it. You know, flicker, you're shooting it up, shooting it back down, and you've got it back. This is waiting till that next end step. So unless, you'd have to trigger it sometime earlier in the turn, or otherwise if you trigger it at the end step, it comes back at the next end step. So you have to wait a full turn rotation for it to come back. So it's like, I could see it in the Derevi deck where you're able to untap stuff and take more advantage of all of that. But if it was his own deck and all you're doing is blinking one thing every turn rotation because you're doing it at instant speed instead of on your turn, I think it's just so mid. Like if you're making like a super casual blink deck, sure. But I feel like if you're actually trying to like blink stuff and do that whole thing, this card just is like, well, you know what? It just ain't no Brago. You know what? I'm gonna come right out and say it.
Yeah.
And there ain't no Brago, and there ain't no Vigilance, and ain't no Trample, and ain't no more +2/+0 that's gonna make it better than Brago. It ain't gonna happen. Okay.
I think he's neat. I like him. He
He's
gets
neat.
an extra color compared to Brago, so he's getting green, flickering like a Wood Elves, flickering like a Foundation Breaker, a Reclamation Sage. You know, it's kind of nice.
Okay. I'm listening.
It's also fair because you can blink one thing. It's just like, which I think is cool. It's some good, honest magic. And then unless you're doing, there might be some sort of combo you can do where you can like tap him to blink something that enters the battlefield and you untap him. So I guess Derevi.
Yeah. But I mean,
You get infinite, or not infinite enter the battlefield, but you get a bunch of enter the battlefield triggers with like.
But that's the thing is you don't get a bunch of infinite. you don't get a bunch of the triggers because they come at the next end step. You know, so you can only that's the one thing is like it doesn't even matter how many times you can blink it. You can only blink so many things before you like blink your whole board. And it's only target creature, so you can't blink your mana rocks to have open mana. You can't blink any enchantments for like a hideaway thing. You know, if you were to blink the new Capenna enchantments and get hideaway again. I do think he's neat. I think it's fun. I think if you're building having green is obviously like definitely its own thing. Like if you're blinking green stuff, you're playing like a different blink deck altogether, which is totally worth playing. But I definitely think it is. I mean, maybe even slightly under fair Magic. You know what I mean? Like it is. To me, it just feels so slow.
Sure, yeah. When you compare, you definitely got power creep by Brago, because Brago was like 2017, 2018 when that card came out.
That makes sense.
This is like 5 years before then. So this was a lot of value. Like, I know Josh Lee Kwai has talked about this card and how this was one of his favorite decks, and it's like, Rune is so much value. You're blinking one thing per turn. But then you build a blink deck, and so you're just like blinking other things. You're casting Ghostly Flicker and stuff like that. So you're getting your blink from other spells as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
it's good. I think the ability, if you add your Llanowar War Elves, you add your Wood Elves, you're able to actually ramp. I think that helps too. You know, because Azorius has like some of the best counter spells. Like I think Dovin's Veto is one of the best counter spells.
Sure.
And just being able to get mana out and barf it onto the field and be able to actually use that other stuff and still cast stuff on your turn, it's good. But I don't think it's like the one, like it's definitely been power crept out. I love Rhinos, but
I do like Rhinos.
Yeah.
He's a big Rhino. See, that's another bonus. Where would you put our boy? You feel a lot more.
You're right.
You have a lot more intense emotions about this guy than I do, so I'm going to follow your lead. Where do you want to put Rune of the Hidden Realm?
Card-wise, I give it a meh. The fact that they put a Rhino with a magical staff on the art, to me, bumps it up to Spark's Joy.
Based.
Yeah. I'll play a card with fun art and not my favorite text all day long.
Yeah. I think he's okay. Yo, did you hear about this Daryl Dixon show?
No, but I can imagine it's probably garbage. Dude,
that shit is insane. He washes up on the coast of France.
While you were saying that, I looked and I was like, why the fuck is the Eiffel Tower behind him?
He quote washes up on the coast of France. Maybe I just didn't watch. I didn't watch Walking Dead that much. I got to like season 3 or 4. So I don't know how he could possibly wash up on the coast of France, but that's what happens. And so he's in Paris. He's doing stuff. How did he get there? How did our redneck crossbow man get there?
Let it die.
Yeah, just let it die.
Let it die. Just like The Walking Dead. Let it die.
Let it be dead.
I think it's make a good show and then go make another good show. Don't keep cashing in on a face. And that's not anybody's face. It's just, got for me.
Shatter Gang Brothers.
Yo, Shadow Wizard money gain.
1, a black, a red, and a green. So another Jund commander for a 3/3 Goblin Artificer. He should be Goblin Artificers because there's definitely 2 dudes there.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever. 2 in a black. Sacrifice a creature. Each other player sacrifices a creature. 2 in a red. Sacrifice an artifact. Each other player sacrifices an artifact. 2 in a green. Sacrifice an enchantment. I think you know where we're going with this. Each other player sacrifices an enchantment. Dude, this card is just so dumb. Why am I paying this much mana to sacrifice one thing to make my opponent sacrifice things?
That's what I was thinking.
This is just bad removal. It's a bad rate. And like, yeah, it's 3 colors. It's like technically a sacrifice deck. But compare this to Prosh. Compare this to Corval. Like, you know, like, I know, like, maybe you want to have a weaker commander. There are reasons to want to have that for weaker pods. But I would just do something else. I just wouldn't do this. I would just do something else.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I've never seen you have a reaction like that to a card before.
Dude, because when I was first getting into Commander, I looked at this dude, and even then, in like 2019 Tyler, not knowing shit about Magic, I was like, that just seems bad. I'm going down a creature. I'm paying 3 mana. I spent mana to cast that creature. Maybe. I mean, unless I'm like Ophiomancering every turn. It's like, great. We got him. 6 mana. I edict my opponents 3 times for 6 mana. I guess that's kind of good. But at what cost? Like, what are we doing? I don't know. Are we just Zulaport Cutthroating? Are we making treasure tokens when things die? I guess that could be possible. But this does nothing for me.
Yeah. Especially as it stands. And this is a slight aside. I have a couple other things I want to get into. But the fact that it's 3 mana for all the activated effects and it's a 3/3, why the fuck am I paying 4 mana to put it on the battlefield? Just make it Jund. Take that one out of there. Fair. Or make it a fucking 4/4 so I'm paying 4/4 for 4 at least. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing is like, it isn't a great card, but even when I look at the power and toughness compared to the cost of everything compared to the amount that I'm paying to put it on the field, it just doesn't seem that great. Now, if you put something in there, well, go ahead.
Like, think about, like, the play pattern. So, like, turn 1, you're playing a Soul Ring that on the God Hand. Turn 2, you get 2 mana ramp. Turn 3, you play this guy.
Well,
there's a 4.
Yeah.
You haven't ramped anymore, so how much? You got 5 mana. You can play a 2 mana creature, a 2 mana artifact, or a 2 mana enchantment, and then sacrifice it and make everyone sacrifice. But at that point, you don't have any of your setup pieces, so you're not getting any extra value from sacrificing this thing, unless it's something that, like, when it dies, you get something.
Yeah,
like you sacrifice like a Microsynth Lattice or something,
or Shambling Gas,
whatever the. You're a Shambling Gas, yeah. Microsynth Wellspring. Whatever.
What was it called?
Microsynth Wellspring. It's like when it enters the battlefield and when it enters the graveyard, you go get a land. It's an artifact. But so you're not really going to start cooking with this until like turn 6 or 7. Like, you got to have like several things that you can sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then at that point, what are we doing? You're just like it's just bad removal for like no payoff.
Yeah, the thing is,
because all you've done the first couple turns is just play the payoff pieces. So how have you played? You have to play payoff pieces and things to sacrifice and ramp and this guy.
It's a lot.
I know. Just no.
Yeah.
Someone call Follow Boy. We're going down. Stinky.
Yeah. Yeah. In my head, I'm thinking if you play, there's a couple cards that you can use as mana reducers for activated abilities.
Not in these colors.
Yeah, you can. There's an artifact that reduces cost by 1.
There is?
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it. Let me see if I can pull it up real fast. I was doing a little bit of...
Zerda is Boros, and Training Center is blue.
I'll move my keyboard real fast.
Or Training Grounds? Training Grounds.
We're going into the tank real fast. Well, if I could spell, that would help. Oh, okay. So, one of the first cards I found is Agatha of the Vile Cauldron, and that, like, literally just came out in Wilds of Eldraine. So this is activated abilities of creatures you control cost X less to activate, where X is Agatha of the Vile Cauldron's power. This effect reduces the mana that cost of this can't Okay. This can't reduce the effect of the mana that costs to less than 1 mana. And she starts out as a 1/1. So inherently, it is a Gruul 1/1 that makes activated abilities cost 1 less. So there's that one that works. And what else? There was one other one that I was looking at. Because I remember looking at it and I was like, in theory, if I can get this down to like in theory, Jund to activate each time for one of each, it would be maybe worth it. And I think I had it at one point, but now I'm accidentally searching too many cards. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so you got Biomancer's Familiar. That's in Simic.
Well, we can't do Simic. We're in Jund.
I know. Yeah, I don't see anything.
Oh yeah, I was looking. My first thought was Zerta, and then I was like, obviously that doesn't work.
But Agatha souped up this deck.
That's the thing. Is this like Shattergain Wizard Brothers are definitely stinky. If there's a world where you can activate 1 red, 1 green, and 1 black to get to get those things, really solid. Solid in air quotes. It's still not a fucking good card. You have to really build a sack deck, and that's the other thing. Is I think if you want to play Shattergain Brothers and you want to be good at it, the thing is you don't play Shattergain Brothers on curve. There's no reason to. You don't play these guys.
You got to do a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And then play Shattergain Brothers on like turn 9. So then you can activate it like once or twice, and then go from there. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then if you hit a point where you get infinite mana and infinite tokens, you got Scoot Swarms or something, you could like cause some damage, I guess. But there's also, you would have to have Zulaport. You have to have some kind of payoff card, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
You know what? I love the Wizards. I love the Brothers. Stinky.
Yeah, they do nothing.
They actually. That's the crazy thing, is they actually do nothing.
Yeah, there's just like just rather would do literally anything.
I think
last thing
I'll say. The last thing I'm gonna say. Wilds of Eldraine. There's enough enchantment graveyard stuff, and with the Commander Masters Abzan deck, there's enough enchantment graveyard stuff that I think if you really, really wanted to, you could maybe try and build Shattergain as an enchantment Jund sack deck. But even then, you're grasping at straws. Cool. But if someone
like sacking rolls, is like okay.
Well, I mean, then in that point, you also go to sagas and auras. You know what I mean? You could sack, if you can find a way to sack auras off of a creature. But again, that's not like a super like competitive viable deck in any fucking way or anything like that. I think that's just a fun way that like that card probably wasn't intended to be used when it first got made, and now there's enough when a graveyard hits or when an enchantment hits a graveyard tech, that if you were to build that and pay 3 mana to sack an enchantment and make it bounce back and do some other stuff, it could be fun. But I don't think, again, it's not going to be like the craziest deck you've ever built. You're not going to build a deck and be like, dude, I'm sitting down this is my first time playing the Shattergain Brothers, you know what I mean? And you're not going to pub stomp. You will get pub stomped. You will get pub stomped your 99th time playing that deck. It's not going to change, and it's not good. I love goblins, and it's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. I've said my piece. Tyler and I have both been... Sorry, brothers. Sorry, brothers. Tyler and I have both been dealing with the new iPhone launch. That's about the time this came out. Both of our jobs require that nonsense, and I will tell you, I've been filling the long, empty hours at work with nothing but thoughts of how Shattergain Brothers could be good and don't become good. But what's I think this is our last one. What's our last one?
It's an Esper commander, literally a white, a blue, and a black.
Thank God.
For a 2/2.
Thank God.
You can pay a blue to have target non-creature artifact become an artifact creature with power toughness equal to its converted mana cost until end of turn. Then you can pay a white and a black to have target artifact creature gain death touch and lifelink until end of turn.
I don't hate it.
I don't love it. Like, pay the blue to have it become an artifact creature until end of turn. You gotta pay blue every turn if you're wanting to do like the animating thing.
Yes.
Every turn. I'd rather pay like 3 and animate one thing one time.
Okay. But why not pay 3 and animate 3 things?
Sure. But then I gotta do that every turn. I'm an Esper. Esper color fixing sucks. Have you ever built an Esper deck?
I have built one. I haven't played it.
Esper mana is bad. Unless you're balling out with like the perfect mana base. Like Esper mana fixing is bad. It's like you gotta get your signets, you gotta get your talismans, hope you get the right color combos.
That's fair. I guess building this deck is hyper dependent on colors.
It's so dependent on colors.
Yeah.
And once you get all your colors, so you've cast all these either like big artifacts, like you cast Spine of Ishshaw, and you have this like not like the 7 mana do nothing artifact, and now it's a 7 mana Death Touch Lifelink, which Death Touch and Lifelink is pretty good stat. Like that's cool stats. It's also white and black. I do like that. That's interesting, but it doesn't kill your opponents in any way. Like, Death Touch makes it harder to block. Lifelink keeps you alive. But it does nothing proactive besides just swinging. And they can just chump block it.
Yeah.
So, it just doesn't do enough for me to end the game. It's just dirtling. It's just like, okay, I'm going to animate this. I'm going to animate this, like, 4 mana cost thing. Now I got a 4/4 with Death Touch of Lifelink. I'll swing it at you. Great. I animate my Dimir Signet. I got a 2/2 Death Touch Lifelink coming at you. I got a bad Baleful Strix coming at you. What are you going to do?
That's fair. That's fair.
It's like, great. It's like, I don't know.
I think I'm a little higher up on it than you because I think it could be a fun artifact life gain deck.
That is cool.
Like, you could definitely be playing like Pristine Talisman, which obviously doesn't help with Sidri, but it gains you a life. If you play a Aetherflux Reservoir, that becomes a 4/4 7. See, it is mana to pay into it, but I think for casual commander, a total of 3 mana to animate something that you have that normally isn't a creature and also give it the ability to block and kill anything immediately is not the worst thing in the world. If you're playing artifacts, you're cramming your deck with mana rocks, and there's plenty of 3 mana rocks that can color fix and make a mana of any color. I think it could be fun to build. It's again, it seems like a lot of these cards are not a lot of them, but some of them are not super competitively viable. But I do feel like you could build a fun deck from this card.
Oh, vehicles are interesting.
That vehicle would be pretty cool because it's going to have whenever you attack or whenever you deal damage, which it's going to do anyway. You don't have to have it crewed to be a vehicle, right? Or to have that go off.
Creature, it's a non-creature artifact, so now it's just... Oh, but then it changes its power and toughness, which kind of changes some vehicles.
A little bit, but like the other thing is if you're doing an attack or a deals damage trigger, it might not necessarily matter how much damage it's dealing, just that it's hitting, you know? And also, there's a lot, like, as we're looking through this list, I forgot we've already passed like one or two cost reducers. You know what I mean? So for artifacts, you can afford to run extra mana rocks because at some point they could become more useful than just a rock.
Yeah, at the end game where you got a bunch of mana, you can just start chucking your mana rocks at people.
Yeah, like you wouldn't chuck your Dimir Signet right away, but like turn 7 or 8, you're like, whatever. You know, I've got 3 lands in hand. I don't have to worry about this extra mana. I can recoup it, you know.
Darksteel Forge is hilarious.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was like, that's that 9 mana. It comes down, you pay 9 mana, and everyone's like, all right, you got it. Like, you paid 9 mana, you got the thing.
Because then it's a 9/9 Death Touch Indestructible. It's it's an 18-point life swing every turn unless they block it, which they can just chump block it. But still, you're just gaining 9 life every turn.
I mean, and 9 life, if you're in a life gain deck with an Aether Flux, that's a fuck ton of life. Time Sieve would be a good card.
Diopter Foundry, yeah.
Bolus of Citadel, too.
I'm going to animate my Bolus of Citadel.
I mean, who's going to...
I got a 6/6 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spine of Ishsaw.
I looked that card
enters
up.
battlefield, destroy target per...
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You got it.
It's in like every precon ever, and it's a bad card. It's in 1% of decks because it's in like so many precons. And it's like a 7 mana. It's like a bad Meteor Golem. And Meteor Golem's not even like a good card.
Yeah. I would say I interrupted you, but if you want to read it, go for it.
Oh, when it enters the battlefield, destroy target permanent. It's a 7 mana artifact. And when it's put to a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. So it doesn't go away. You can't animate it. If you can sacrifice it somehow, you can get it back. Great. 7 mana, colorless 7 mana blow up a permanent makes sense, but it's not what I want to be doing. I'd rather just do something else.
Yeah. Also, shout out EDA Trek for that article right next to it. 2 specific top 10 meteor golems. That's a fun list.
Yeah.
That's the kind of list we need.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, if we want to hop back to the list, to me, this card sparks joy. You could build a fun deck with this card. It's not necessarily awful. But what do you think?
I think it's stinky.
You think it's stinky? No.
I think it's stinky.
No.
It doesn't.
It could be Shatter Game level. It could be Shatter Bros level. It could cost 2 in a blue and 2 in Orzhov to activate.
It just does like so much of nothing. I don't want to do any of that. Like, I don't know. You definitely could make it cool. You can make a cool deck out of it. You can make a cool deck out of like basically every legend.
I don't agree with that.
It's set for Shadow Gang Brothers, but everyone else.
I don't agree with that.
I mean, I could do meh.
I'll cut it with you. I'll go meh.
It definitely. I feel no joy.
That's crazy. I feel
no joy.
A decent amount of joy looking at that card. Oh fuck!
What?
You see who did the art?
Yeah, it's fine.
Let's boot it down to Stinky. Yeah. I won't cut my morals for the words that are on a card, okay? I'm just not gonna do it. So we're gonna put.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care about this card. It's just boring. It just doesn't do anything.
I think you could build it to be fun, but it is boring. It's definitely not like the most fun Esper artifact deck that has ever been made. But Wizards, let's get some new art on this one. Then I'll build it.
Just get like a altar sleeve or something.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. I would say, do we want to cut it? Is this our solid list?
Yeah, I think this is it. Unless you have anything you want to add about anyone, but if not, we can just read off our tiers.
Yeah, no, I think this is good. We've improved as tier list makers from the third one, I think.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So down in Stinky Town, we got Shatter Gang Brothers, and we got Seedry Galvanic Genius with the turf art, unfortunately. We got, in Mad tier, we got Kahiji
Kahiji.
Honored one. Legendary Beast. He's meh. He's whatever.
It's fine.
This Sparks. He's fine. He's cool. You can play him.
He's hanging out.
We got Jaleva, Nephalia's Scourge, Marath, something of the Wilds, Roar of the Wilds,
Will of the Wilds.
Wheel of the Wilds.
Sam's gonna kick your ass.
I'm sorry, Sam. We got Rune of the Hidden Realms. These all spark joy. I like them. They're cool.
I really do. I think they're fun, and they're down here because they aren't inherently busted by themselves. If you built not a great deck around them, they're not that crazy. So, but I think they're fun. You can do anything you want with them. There's so many. They're open ended.
We got Derevi, Imperial Tactician, in Busted and or Annoying, and Aloro, Ageless Ascetic, because they're doing cheaty pants stuff. They're like doing stuff from outside the command zone. They're like not interacting. They're interacting with the commander format in a way that I think is problematic. It was an interesting design choice. I get why they did it, but I'm glad they are doing. They're not doing more of these effects. Every time they do an effect like this, it's like not great. I don't think.
Agreed.
And then in Goated tier, we got Nekusar, a really, really sweet card. Really fun deck to play and play against for the most part.
I would agree so.
And then you got Prosh. Just classic card, classic infinite combo in the command zone. He's a reference to some old cards. He's a big dragon that makes a bunch of kobolds. It's just you cast him and you have a board instantly. It's like insane. So he's cool. He's goated.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think this is a really good list. I've been thinking about these cards for like a week now. And this is solid.
I think this is definitive, so if you don't like this, you can talk to my lawyer about it.
Yeah. And we've lawyered up, okay? The last tier list episode really told us what we needed to do, and it's unfortunate, but like we're paying I don't even want to say how much we're paying to have a lawyer on retainer for this podcast because it's so embarrassing, but like people were upset, so I'm sorry if you don't like it, you have to talk to Misney Pays. Misney makes him pay. Not sponsored.
He does.
But he makes him pay.
Hashtag not sponsored, but Misney does make him pay. If you're not from Ohio, you don't know what we're talking about. But if you're from Ohio, you know what we're talking about. You know that Misney makes him pay.
Yeah. If you're a local, you know Misney makes him pay. But if you made it this far into the madness, thanks for tuning in. Give us a follow on the stuff. We'll be making daily Commander TikTok content, mostly Tyler. He's been killing that. We got an episode every 2 weeks, so give us a follow on your podcast listening app of choice. And we're getting used to this YouTube thing now. So if you got a YouTube, smash that like and subscribe button. You hear people say that all the time, but nothing scratches the itch quite like saying it. So yeah.
And it does help. It does help. It just helps everything by doing that. All the algorithms. So
yeah.
Like it. Also, I wanted to shout out Geoffrey Palmer, also known as Living Cards MTG on Twitter. He did our awesome new intro for this episode and for all our new our like intro animation. So thank you, Geoffrey, if you see this, and go check him out on Twitter. He does amazing animations. He has some free ones that you can just use. He gave us a really good deal on this. He like gave very just for this great work, so check him out and give him a follow. He does the Paddington series on Twitter where it's like
yes. Photoshop Paddington Bear into a card every day until I forget. Yes. Yeah. Which is
not into movies. Movies is a different guy, but he does the Magic card ones, and they're just as good.
Yeah, they're all really good. Yeah, and he absolutely killed it. Big thanks to him. Yeah, very fun, and thank you to everyone that keeps listening. It's so sick. It's very fun. So we're very lucky. So thank you guys.
Yeah. Thanks. See you.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.